Hello. I wanted to touch base with you guys. A couple things have happened. You guys, I gave you grades on your mediated values essay. I really have to say I really enjoyed reading these. I love these essays because they show me when you describe your values and how they manifest in your life. I really get to know you guys. I really love doing this first and being able to see who you are as people because you tell me what's important to you and what you value. Um, so a lot of you guys did not get the full points. There were two grades possible, either a failing grade or an A. So a lot of you got the failing grade. That doesn't mean you won't get the A. It means I want you to tweak it a little bit so that you can fit the course, you can make the best essay you can that fits the requirements of the prompt. So I gave you some suggestions, common mistakes where you had more than one value or more than one media. So you're supposed to have one medium, one value, and a personal connection that shows how this value manifests in your life. So if you did not get the full points, look over my feedback and email me if you have any questions at all. And you have 2 weeks to submit it back in the same place. You have until Monday, July 8th. If for some reason you can't make this deadline, let me know in advance and we can work something out. But I just wanted to make sure I loved these essays. Just because of the grade does not reflect that I think it's a bad essay. It just means that I don't think it's quite done. And I wanted to, and I just wanted to see the best essay possible. I also wanted to show, underline the importance of following the prompt. This gets more and more important as we get into the heavier weighted essays. So jumping right in, we're going to start with that. So you guys did your discussion forum. You did summaries in your discussion forum. So let's go ahead and move to Unit 2. So we're in week 4. And today you're supposed to post your draft of the summary and synthesis essay. Okay, so we're already doing the draft. Let's go ahead and go there where discussions. Let's see, where are we at? We are here. Peer review of the summary and synthesis essay draft. Okay. So you're posting a rough draft here. Here, there are some things to look for in peer feedback. This is also a good thing to look over when you're writing your your first post. Okay, this gives you directions on who to respond to in your post. So here, does the draft have a title? So here we know we need a title. If you don't have a title, you can't get a passing grade. Does the opening paragraph explain to readers the general contours of the conversation? What are the various viewpoints and what is at stake? So in your discussion forum, you had two options. You could write a summary or you could write this opening paragraph. Everybody did summaries, which is great. It's a great thing to practice. So you guys can use that in this essay. You need to do another summary. And then in this opening paragraph, you need to explain the entire conversation. So you need to have read all 4 pieces. So 3 articles and 1 video, which you will describe in this opening paragraph. You will describe, this is the overall conversation about horror movies. And you'll have a couple of sentences saying that. Then you'll say, I chose to discuss this article and this article. You will give the names of the articles, the names of the authors. You will give the context of where the articles appear, who you think's reading it. So like basically this was in a website, and it was by, the one with negative effects of horror movies. That one was wellness. It involved wellness and religion. And I believe that was, people, it talked about, praying to God and stuff. So I think their audience is someone who are people who value that kind of information. So people who are, part of the church, who pray, that kind of thing. So this is the type of thing you want to include in that first paragraph. You also need to include 2 summaries that are each 1 to 2 paragraphs in length. So this entire essay will be 3 to 5 paragraphs. 1 paragraph introducing the 2 articles, and then 1 to 2 paragraph summaries of each. You guys did a great job of your summaries. The only thing is I would like you to build on. I gave you guys each individual feedback, but one of the main things is adding a little bit more detail was just overall, I think, a good piece of feedback for everyone. You want to be able to recreate the argument. These authors are arguing something. You want to recreate their argument so that someone who has not read the article can understand what their line of reasoning. So you could say the author's claim is this. They support it with personal anecdotes and research, and or they support it with examples from 3 different movies showing this, blah, blah, blah. So you want to be able to give the author's claim and then tell how the author is supporting that with either examples or with personal anecdotes from people, that kind of thing. So you want to be able to explain how the argument is being made. Again, this course is about argument, so we want to be able to explain argument. So this skill will come in the rhetorical analysis as well. So do the summaries accurately convey the original source's main points clearly? Are they comprehensive? Do they explain enough of the original author's reasoning and evidence that a reader unfamiliar with the text would be able to understand the author's argument? So basically, if they hadn't read it, could they understand it? You need to provide that much detail, that level of detail. So 1 to 2 paragraphs, that could be, 500 words right there for each. So 200 to 500 words, I would say, for each summary. You need to include in-text citations and use MLA. You also need to have a work cited. So these are things that you need to do before in order to get the 69. So MLA, I will give more information on that, but basically everyone who does MLA looks it up. It's double spaced, it's the regular tab, so no more block. You need to use the tab instead of like the space at the beginning of each paragraph. You need to have the 4-line heading, and you can look that up. It includes your name, my name, the date, and the name of the class in a certain order. And I'll include more information about the work cited in an email in the next couple of days. So look this over. Again, this is a first forum, so I want you guys to write your own before you see how other people are doing it. And then use the describe, evaluate, suggest feedback model, and that should come in on Friday. You guys did a great job using that on this first summary. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay, and when you give feedback, focus primarily on the 2 summaries. Where could they be more accurate? Where could they be more clear? That kind of thing. So that one is due on Wednesday at midnight, 11:59. Please let me know if you have any questions. You guys are doing a great job, and I am really enjoying teaching this class so far. So just let me know if there's anything I can help you with. And I look forward to reading your rough drafts on Wednesday. So thank you. Have a great day.